Good morning everybody and welcome to this online session. This is a post that you can use whenever you want to. Hopefully in the very near future I'll be able to stream my classes as I was doing on a Sunday, Tuesday and Wednesday evening. But in the meantime, use this video. Maybe I'll do another one or two a week until I can get the streaming process up and running. Okay, so we're going to begin. So let's sit cross-legged on our mat, pressing down into the sit bones, lengthening up through the spine, chin tucked in, shoulders pressed away from the ears, closing the eyes and detaching ourselves from the outside world. So taking a few moments to really calm the breath down and to calm that busy mind. Very difficult to stop the thoughts completely, but try and slow the thought process down. Slowly allowing any thoughts to dissolve away. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. Bringing those hands into prayer and setting your intention for this morning's practice. This can be a physical intention, such as concentrating on your foundation or bringing the breath to your movement. It could be a more spiritual intention, such as thinking or praying for somebody or something at this point in time. Gently open the eyes and we'll begin our warm-up. So inhale those fingertips up to the ceiling. Stretch, 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 stretch. Try and keep the alignment in the spine and shoulders. Exhale, hands come down in front of you for a first gentle forward bend. Stretching through the lower back. Continue to press down through the sit bones. Breathing into the back of the rib cage. And breathe. Head and neck is nice and relaxed. Extend into this posture if you wish to. Inhale back to centre, fingertips back up to the ceiling. Stretch, 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 stretch. Let's do a side stretch over to the right hand side. So right hand down and gently, gently leaning over to the right, but try not to put too much weight into this right side. It's the torso that's doing all the work. Keep pressing down into that left sit bone and try and draw that left shoulder back, shining that heart centre forward. Again, breathe. back to centre. Stretch, 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 stretch. Exhale, let's go to the other side. So left hand down, lightly supporting us and pressing over to the left hand side. Drawing that right shoulder back, pressing down into that right sit bone. See if you can draw the belly button back as well. Inhale back to centre. Let's come into our spinal twist. So on the exhale, our left hand drops onto the right knee. Our right hand swings behind us. And as we gently rotate the torso to the right, we're lifting up through the spine and pressing down into the sit bones. If your neck is feeling very happy and healthy, you can look over your right shoulder, but you don't have to do this. Try not to lean or collapse into the backhand. Try and draw up through the abdomen and lengthen through the spine and breathe. Inhale, let's draw those fingertips back up to the ceiling. Stretch, 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 stretch. Exhale, let's do the other side. So right hand onto the left knee, left hand behind us. Gentle press into that left and to the right palm as we increase that rotation. Draw up through the spine and gently tilt our gaze around that left shoulder if our neck is healthy and happy. And breathe. And gently release. We're going to do another forward bend, but we're going to change the crossover of the legs. So giving the other leg a little bit of a stretch. Inhale those fingertips back up to the ceiling. Nice long stretch. Exhale. Let's lean forward. Hands dropping down in front of us to support us, and then maybe a little walk with the hands to stretch the lower spine. Relax the head and the neck. Keep breathing into the back of the rib cage. Keep pressing down into the sit bones. And if you can, engage in the bandhas. So pulling up through the pelvic floor and sucking that belly button back to the spine. And slowly release. From here we're going to go onto all fours and we're going to begin our cat-cow sequence. So gently come onto your knees and your hands. Hands should be shoulder width apart, spreading the fingers out, pressing down into the pads of the thumbs and into the palms. Knees are hip width apart and our hips are stacked over our knees. And we're just at tops of our feet are lightly pressing on the mat. Starting off in a neutral position, nice long neck and spine. And on the inhale, we're gently going to drop our belly down to the mat as our head and gaze lifts. On the exhale, we're going to press down into the hands and knees, drawing up through the spine, making a nice dome with the spine, dropping the head, dropping the gaze, looking through the legs. Inhale, drop the belly, raise the head. Exhale, arch the back, drop the head and maybe suck the belly button back to the spine as well. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. And from here, we're going to roll over. We're going to roll the toes over, sit back on the heels, and let's go fire up the nadis in the soles of the feet. And just as a little bit of distraction, we'll just make some circles with the head and neck, warming up the small bones in the neck. Going in one direction to begin with. And then the other. Come back to centre. Quite powerful, that posture. And then we're going to come into melting heart. So taking our weight forward, stretching through the spine, taking the hands forward, bottom in the air, and coming into puppy dog or melting heart. So our forehead gently pressing onto the mat, our arms and hands stretching out in front of us, creating a beautiful stretch underneath the armpits and the back of the shoulders. Keep breathing down into the lower abdomen. And from here, we're going to come into our first downward dog. We're going to make it a very gentle downward dog. So slowly, for those of you who are very used to coming into downward dog, please do so and bring the breath into your posture. For those of you who are new to downward dog and would like to be taught through it step by step, come back onto your all fours posture, turn your back, turn your toes under, and slowly lift the knees off the ground 1 or 2 inches. Again, hands are shoulder width apart, and we're stacking our shoulders above our wrist to begin with. And then slowly, slowly take your bottom back towards your heels, and then slowly press your bottom up towards the ceiling into your first gentle downward dog. Allow your head and neck to relax. Maybe take your gaze up to your thighs or up to your belly button and breathe. I said it was going to be gentle, so we'll leave the downward dog there for the time being. Bend the knees, look forward and gently walk to the top of the mat. Coming into a very gentle forward bend and slowly rising up to begin our sun salutations. So big toes touching, gap between the heels, pressing down into the 4 corners of the feet, pulling up through the kneecaps, engaging our bandhas, so pulling up through the pelvic floor, tilting that tailbone under, lengthening up through the spine, nice broad shoulders, hands engaged out to the side. Also tucking the chin in and engaging another bandha called Jalabandha. Feel very grounded, feel tall, feel strong, and we'll begin. So inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, fingertips up to the ceiling, standing stretch. Exhale, we'll go very slowly to begin with. Gently coming into Uttanasana, forward bend. Keep pressing down through the 4 corners of the feet, pulling up through the kneecaps, engaging the bandhas, relaxing the head and neck. Inhale, half forward bend. Press down through the feet, bend the knees, come up onto the fingertips, nice long spine. See if you can draw the shoulder blades down to the lower back. Exhale, hands down, feet back into plank, bottom down, elbows in, as we continue the exhale down into low plank. Inhale, baby cobra. If you have back problems, just widen your feet and then draw the shoulders and chest off the ground and inhale. Exhale, downward dog, press down into the hands, draw the bottom in the air, downward dog. Bend the knees, walk to the top of the mat, back into half forward bend. Exhale, full forward bend. Press down, lift up into standing stretch. Exhale, Tadasana. And we'll do that again. Inhale. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, half forward bend. Exhale, hands down, feet back into plank, bottom down, elbows in. Continue the exhale down into chaturanga or low plank. Inhale, baby cobra, press down into the pelvis, draw the shoulders back. Exhale, downward dog. Press down into your foundation. Draw up through the kneecaps. Pressing that chest up towards the thighs, nice long spine. Bend the knees, walk or jump to the top of the mat, half forward bend. Exhale, full forward bend. Press down through the feet, stretch up to the ceiling, standing stretch. Exhale, Tadasana. We'll do that again. Inhale. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, half forward bend. Exhale, hands down, feet back, continue down into chaturanga. Inhale, baby cobra, or if you want to, you can extend up into upward dog, shoulders above the wrists, dropping down into the pelvis, knees off the ground. Exhale, downward dog, tucking the toes under, press the bottom up towards the ceiling, stretching through the back of the shoulders. Bend the knees, top of the mat, half forward bend. Exhale, full forward bend. Press down, lift up, standing stretch. Exhale, Tadasana. One more time, inhale. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, half forward bend. Exhale, hands down, feet back into plank, continue down into low plank. Scoop up into upward dog or baby cobra. Bottom in the air, downward dog. Take a resting breath. Bend the knees, top of the mat, half forward bend. Exhale, full forward bend. Press down through the feet, standing stretch. Exhale, mountain pose. Bring the hands to the heart in prayer. Just get your breath back. Just do a body scan. See how your body's feeling. And if there's any areas that need a little bit of extra care during our next sequence. So we're still on our sun salutations, but we're going to make them a bit more dynamic and vary some of our moves. So coming to the top of the mat, pressing down through our foundation. We're going to inhale, fingertips up to the ceiling. Nice long standing stretch. And this time we're just going to tilt over to the right to begin with. So keep pressing down through the feet. A very subtle tilt over to the right. Inhale back to centre. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, half forward bend. Exhale, right foot back, coming into crescent lunge. So right knee down, our weight forward, and we're really sinking into that lunge. Interlace the thumbs, draw the elbows back. Exhale, hands down to the mat, back toes under, left foot back into plank, bottom down, elbows in. Continue to exhale down into chaturanga. Inhale, baby cobra or upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Take your weight into your left foot, raise the right foot, have a look at your right big toe. Exhale, bring that right foot forward, back into crescent lunge, dropping the left knee this time. Interlacing the thumbs. Inhale, draw the elbows back. So we're really trying to press the upper arms next to the ears and create some space across the thumbs, drawing the wrists apart from one another. Exhale, drop the hands, turn the back toes under and just lever our weight forward, back into half forward bend. Again, really creating some length down the spine, trying to roll those shoulder blades down to the lower back. Exhale, release into full forward bend. Inhale, press down, lift up, standing stretch, and finish with another tilt to the right. Hands come into prayer. Take a breath. Inhale. Let's do the same on the other side. Exhale. Stretch to the left. Inhale. Back to centre. Exhale. Full forward bend. Inhale. Half forward bend. Bend the knees if you need to create that length in the spine. Exhale, hands down, feet back, left foot back into crescent lunge. Weight forward, really releasing down into that lunge. Interlace the thumbs, draw the elbows back. Rather than doing a back bend here, just try and lift up through the torso. Keep pressing down into that front foot. Engage your bandhas, sucking the belly button back to the spine and pulling up through the pelvic floor. Drop the hands, turn the back toes under, come into plank. Exhale, down into chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Take a moment here to bring breath to your downward dog. Press down into your right foot, lift your left foot up, look at your left big toe. Exhale, bring that left foot forward, dropping the right knee down this time. Interlace the thumbs, draw the elbows back. Drop the hands, turn the back toes under and gently lever forward into half forward bend. Exhale into full forward bend. Press down, lift up. Exhale. Let's just tilt over to the left again. And back to centre. Hands come into prayer. And take a few breaths. Inhale. Tilt to the right. Back to centre. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, half forward bend. Exhale, right foot back, down into crescent lunge. Interlace the thumbs, draw the elbows back. And breathe. Hands come down, left foot goes back into plank. Continue the exhale down into low plank. Inhale, upward dog. Bottom in the air, downward dog. Weight into the left foot, raise the right foot, have a look at your right big toe, try and keep that pelvis square with the mat. Exhale, right foot forward, back into crescent lunge, dropping that left knee, interlacing the thumbs, draw the elbows back. Drop the hands, turn the back toes under, and gently lead yourself forward into half forward bend. Exhale, full forward bend. Press down, lift up. Exhale, tilt to the right. Inhale, back to centre. Hands come back to prayer. Inhale. Nice long stretch. Exhale, tilt to the left. Inhale, back to centre. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, half forward bend. Exhale, left foot back, down into crescent lunge. Interlace the thumbs, draw the elbows back, and breathe. Drop the hands, turn the back toes under, take the right foot back into plank, elbows in, bottoms down. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Right foot, press down into the right foot, lift the left foot up, have a look at the left big toe, square the pelvis off with the top with the mat. Exhale, left foot forward, dropping that right knee, interlace the thumbs, elbows back. Drop the hands, turn the back toes under, gently leave yourself to the top of the mat. Half forward bend. Release down into full forward bend. Press down through the feet. Come up into standing stretch. Exhale, tilt to the left. Inhale, back to centre. Hands come back into prayer. Take a few moments. So before we come into our next dynamic sequence, we're going to come into a forward bend. So some of you will be really flexible and will choose to have your feet together. For those of you who maybe not so flexible in the lower back, let's just open our feet to hip width. So we're pressing down through our foundation, allowing that energy to draw up, pulling up through the kneecaps, tilting the pelvis, drawing up through the bandhas, and drawing Uddiyana Bandha back to the spine. So pressing down, hands on hips to begin with. And we're going to come into our forward bend, but first of all we're going to inhale, lengthen up through the spine. And exhale, it's the slow transition into forward bend. So engaging our bandhas, really feeling that foundation. Exhale, and as we go into our forward bend, try and allow your chin and chest to lead the way. And once you're in your full expression of this posture, just allow the hands to drop down to the floor. If you want to, you can take the first two fingers and wrap them around your big toes. And that gives you a little bit of a leverage to pull down and lengthen through the spine. Try and make your weight nice and even through the four corners of your feet. Just be very mindful of where your weight is, if it's too far forward or too far back, and try and adjust accordingly. Just relax the head and neck. and breathe. If you feel this is enough, then please come back up. Anybody with any blood pressure problems or heart problems, then you don't have to come into a full forward bend. You can use a chair or a cupboard or a shelf, and you can sort of lean on somewhere and lengthen through the spine and get just as much out of that bend rather than lowering the head down beneath the heart. So be kind to yourself and be very mindful of what your body needs at this point in time. So those of you in full forward bend, slowly press down into your foundation and roll up back into standing. And from here, we're going to come into another dynamic sequence. So come to the top of the mat. We're going to start off with a balance, so Vrikasana. So this is tree posture. So I'm going to be turning from side to side, but for most of you, or for all of you, you'll be starting at the top of your mat, and we're going to start our posture with our left leg supporting and lifting the right leg. I'm going to face you now so that I can show you in more detail. So pressing down through your foundation, lifting up through the kneecaps, tilting the spine, just making sure your body is prepared for your posture. And also engaging your drishti, which means focusing your gaze at a point in front of you, either a body length away from you or approximately 6 feet away from you. And trying to focus on that point. I'm very lucky because I've got knots in wood flooring, so I can focus on a knot in the wood. And trying to create a haze in the periphery of your vision so that you're bringing your focus completely onto your posture. Hands start engaged to the side, and then slowly, slowly, slowly press down into that left foot and bring that right foot either to the outside of the calf or to the inside of the calf or inside of the thigh. Try not to put pressure onto that knee joint. And draw yourself up through your posture. Try not to allow that left hip to press too far to the outside. Draw it back up. Some of you will want to extend through this posture. You can take hold of your big toe and extend. And then all of us can bring that right foot forward. Try and lift that right foot in front of us. And then we're going to take that left foot back and come into warrior one. So lifting the fingertips up to the ceiling, pressing down into that back heel. Left knee is above that left ankle, and we're sinking down into warrior one. Exhale, drop the hands behind us. We're going to prepare for humble warrior. So interlacing the fingers behind us, pressing the knuckles down to that back heel, drawing the shoulders back and shining that heart centre forward. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, very slowly come forward into humble warrior. So allowing the chest to bow down, and if you can, lifting the wrists up towards the ceiling. If that is too much, just take hold of your left wrist with your right hand and just try and stretch through the elbows and the arms. And breathe. And release. From here we're going to come up. First of all, we're going to adjust the feet, because we're going to adjust the feet so that we come up into warrior two, so that our heels are on the same line. Our left foot is facing forward and that right foot is turned in about 40 degrees. Press down through our foundation, spiral the hands into warrior two. Try and draw this left knee back, and there's some outward rotation into that right thigh. See if you can sink down nicely into warrior two. Hands extending away from the shoulders, looking down at the middle finger on the left hand. Inhale. As we inhale, we're going to turn that left palm up and raise that left hand up to the ceiling as that right hand gently rests on the back of the right thigh. See if you can feel that lovely diagonal stretch, and breathe. Exhale back to centre. We're going to do something very similar now, but we're going to come into Gokhamasana hands. So that left hand raises up, the right hand goes behind the back, and if you can, we're going to take a bind with the fingers, so that our fingers, that posture looks like that. Sitting into warrior two and breathing and enjoying that beautiful stretch down the left side of the body and maybe across the top of the chest and obviously that right arm. If that is too much, don't come into the bind, just press down with the right palm onto the left elbow. Just drawing the shoulder blades back and shining that chest forward. And breathe. And then slowly, slowly disengage. Come back into warrior two. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, bend that left elbow onto the left knee. Inhale, those right fingers up to the ceiling. And then exhale, press them to the front of the room so that they're pressing over the head. And breathe. Utthita Parsvakonasana, extended side angle posture. Some of you may want to modify this posture and come into a bind. So really sinking down into your foundation, taking the right hand behind the back, looking for your left fingers and coming into a bind. Keep drawing, don't lose that nice heart centre forward. Try and draw that right shoulder back. And from here, we're going to come into lizard. So both hands come to the inside of that left foot wriggles to the outside of the mat. Sinking that right knee down onto the mat, coming into high lizard. And breathing, enjoying that stretch around the pelvic area and in the top of the thighs. For some of you, you may want to use a block or a bolster and come down a bit lower. And I know some of you will want to come down a bit lower still onto the mat to extend into the posture. Just relax the head and the neck. Top of the foot is flat on the mat in your back leg. Just really relax that back leg. And from here, come back up into high lizard. And we're either going to come into plank and hold it, or you can come into low plank and hold it. Some of you will choose to come into supported plank, whether it be low or high, and pop your knees down to help